Listen up, Rangers. Welcome to the Geek Chest. My name's Steve.
My name's Arnes.
And today we'll be going over the X Plus standard release of the 25 centimeter Iris for Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris.
It's been a while since we had a good X Plus figure.
Well, to be fair, there just hasn't really been that many X Pluses I was really that excited about this year. Like, the Harryhausen ones were good. We got those on pre-order, but they're still not even out.
Can we call the Rem figure that we got from that company X Plus? It's kind of the same size.
No.
But
no.
It had furry panties on it.
No. Oh, it did, though.
But kind of wins. If you put furry panties on Iris over here, I bet you he'll look a lot better.
Yeah, because what? The only two X Pluses I got this year was this one and the 25 centimeter of the 2019.
Yeah, we all can't be Aaron and buy all those burnings and, you know.
Yeah, it was just like I just want one Godzilla from that movie, and I'll get like the Rodan whenever that comes up. I got Gridman on pre-order.
Boo!
Super excited about that one. I got the Rick.
You would, wouldn't you?
But it lights up. I was thinking about getting the Rick for this too, but since my Gamera isn't a Rick, I felt like it was kind of dumb to get this as a Rick too.
Well, you gotta show who the better, superior monster is by getting the Rick of the one you like more, Steve.
So I wasn't from that because I actually like Gridman more than I like Iris. To be fair, well, Gridman, like aesthetically wise, easily my favorite Ultraman. Like I think he's just the coolest looking of like the Ultramans. Then I just have a soft spot for Superhuman Samurai. Iris I really like, but like if push comes to shove, I like Legion more. And I really still sad that I missed out on Legion and would really like to get one at some point. God, if we get those 2,000, that stimulus check, I'm gonna try to hunt down a Legion.
What'd you buy with your stimulus? Burning X Plus Godzilla, baby.
I bought a vinyl thing for my house instead of actually working on my house.
Best $2,000 I ever spent. You know, if we get that, I'm ordering all those Overlords from those guys, right?
Might as well, you know. But anyways, we're just gonna get into this. Again, like I really love the Gamera trilogy, which is the biggest selling point for this.
Yeah.
Then like I like Gamera 2 a little better, but Gamera 3 is still a really awesome film, and I bought the Gamera, so getting the Iris to go along with them.
Kind of have to, pretty much.
Yeah. But anyways, without further ado, for the packaging, very bland. Can barely see Iris on the front, and I think that's probably the biggest gripe I have. It's just very brown, blacks and browns.
Is that yours or is that everyone's like
It's
that?
gonna be like it's X Plus. Like the one thing about X Plus that I think I like, even though I complain about it a lot, is because the packaging's so bad, I kind of have to open the figure. Because you can't, like, there's no way I'm going to have this on a shelf.
Steve, I clearly remember us opening not X Pluses and the boxes were colored.
Some of them not. Like, the Evangelion ones are probably the ones that were, like, you didn't have to open the box, because the boxes are actually kind of cool. But, like, the rest of them, like, this guy's just like, eh. But you do get some Legal Mumbo Jumbo and stuff I can't understand on the back, so that's cool. But anyways, let's go and open up out of his cardboard prison. Alright, so now that we got Iris opened up out of its cardboard prison, first and foremost, the tentacles on the back here. You would have had to attach, we did attach them in the live stream. This one's actually popping out so I can show you guys. But you'll see, it was a little peg. Please don't rotate it like I just did.
Oh my god.
It is a little terrifying.
I swear to God, dude, I thought you broke that. I was like, oh shit.
Right? But each of the pegs have their own shape to them. And you can see here on the inside, you just kind of match up the shapes. And then just pop it in. If you have a hard time, you can use a hairdryer. I gotta do the reach around trick to get this one back in. And then it just slides in. If you do get damaged, if it does break, a Dremel and paper clips are really helpful to support it. And that's pretty much it. Like, you have to just do it for each of the tentacles. When you first get the tentacles, though, I will stay out of the package. They all look like this one. They're all upright and rounded. If you guys watched our live stream unboxing, that's how each of these are set up. So it's kind of like each of them are wrapping around. But after about a day, 3 of them are doing what they're doing now because of the weight of the tentacles. It kind of all just kind of bend into their own shapes.
Now, for most people, they'll probably be a negative, Steve.
Yeah, it's like I want to call it a negative, but then again, I kind of like the look. because like now they're all over the place. Although I wish, like I would like these to not be kind of on the ground though.
Yeah.
Is my biggest gripe, and a lot of that is just because it's vinyl, and then because of the weight, it's gonna sag over time. That's just how vinyls work. Like my Evangelion one, I have to have on a stand because the legs can't support itself.
Yeah, because I like that. Oh my god, I remember that was probably the biggest issue for that figure.
Yeah, so I kind of wish that they maybe put some wires inside of these to give it some extra support so that this wouldn't have happened. But then again, like I said, I kind of like how they just kind of did their own thing and just went off in each section. So that's more of a personal preference thing if it's really a big issue for you. If this does happen with you, you can always use a hairdryer, heat them back up, and get them back into the positions, or possibly go out and get some like extra Tamashii stands or something just to give it a little extra support. Which kind of sucks on your over $200 figure to have to go get some extra stuff for supporting.
Yeah.
But again, if it's not as big of a concern, when they do kind of flop over, it's still fairly accurate for the movie look.
Like I told you earlier, that's probably one of my favorite monster designs.
Yes, because going into closer details. For his head sculpt, her head sculpt?
I think it's her, right?
Google it while we're talking. You got one job. For its head
What are you
sculpt,
looking for, Steve?
gotta see what the gender is.
What is the gender of Iris?
But head sculpt looks gorgeous with the giant pointy beak here with the fraying crest on the back here. You can see the orb for its eye in the center of the head. That's one of the things I always thought was kind of cool because like Iris looks like it has eyes. But it's actually just like one center little cyclopean thing that's separated by all these little sections. So the part where you would think it's the eye is actually just kind of like an illusion. And even the way the like the little slits on the side of the crest here kind of give it more of like a mouth look to it than it's supposed to. But then the rest of the kaiju is very Spawn, kind of like Guyver-esque, where it's a lot of muscles, like muscles on muscles and muscles. But you do get the red and orange skin texturing here, some darker reds throughout, and then some dark grays for the top of the shoulders here. Then the retracted wings on the back, where you get the texturing, which is sort of bug-like. And then when it frayed out, it was like those invisible membrane kind of look for when it was flying around, which I always thought was a cool look. Moving down the chest, you get the whites and blues with some yellows here for the front little crest here. One thing I was thinking about trying to do is actually making this thing light up myself, but it's looking like to me that it isn't going to be a thing you can do on the standard version.
Okay, so here's the thing, Steve. According to the Toho thing, it's a male.
Toho thing?
The Toho Wikipedia, whatever it's called, it's a male.
Gotcha.
But everyone says it's both.
Yeah, it probably is. To be fair, it does kind of look like it's got a penis.
The Toho Kingdom says it's a male, but everyone says it's both.
Well, like I said, it does have this spiky protrusion in between its legs.
So
male. You got that going for it. But anyways, moving down the arms where it has these giant spears for appendages with the blade, if you will, coming towards the back here. One thing I will say is the one's fairly straight. The other one's got a little bit of a curve to it.
You, Steve. I can't stop looking at it now.
Stare at its masculinity. To be honest, I never really noticed it on other figures till now. I was just like, huh. He's got a peepee. You also got the knees with the giant blades coming out of it. You got the little hook here on the back of the leg. The feet are very hoof-esque. But for the rest of it, it's just very kind of like grotesque looking with the oranges and reds for a lot of the muscle fibers and the muscling. For the back here, it's a lot more blues and grays. Actually, it's got a nice little metallic finish to it for all these crested stuff here.
Really good.
Yeah, and then the tentacles are all just done in this orange color with more of the same kind of like its head for the spear tips here, which are done in the same kind of metallic silvers and blues. And overall, just like really gorgeous figure. There's zero articulation other than if you count the sagging tentacles as articulation. So there is no posability with this thing because it is meant to be a statue. But the only real seam lines that are really standing out to me are the ones just where you connect to the tentacles.
Yeah, that's the one thing I did notice about it is the tentacles.
Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. It definitely stands out when it's on the shelf. Like you can see them. And I kind of wish that maybe like the connector point would have been more at the body instead of being partway down the tentacle. I imagine there's a reason, but then again, this got glued in. So,
Can't be.
Yeah, it can't be too bad difficult, I would imagine. But outside of that, like even like the connector pieces on the arms and that aforementioned, like where it connects to the tentacles and the waist and stuff, there isn't really too much out of the ordinary with gapping. It's just mainly at the base of the tentacles are the only real concerns. So as a quick comparison, here we have the Large Monster Series Iris compared next to some other Gamera 3X Plus figures with the Large Monster Series Gamera 1999 and the original one, I think used to come on a blister card. I forget, but he's old. And here it is with some other Iris figures in my collection with the Bandai vinyl and the Kaiju. And here it is with some other different scaled X Pluses with the default real 1998 Godzilla and the 1975 30cm Godzilla. And here is some other monster figures in my collection with the Sentinel Omu from Nausicaa Valley of the Wind and the SH Monster Shin Godzilla. And then for some random comparisons, here it is with the Playmate Shin Godzilla and the Power Rangers Lightning Collections Pumpkin Rapper. So overall for the X Plus Iris, this thing is awesome. Love the detailing. Again, the only real major nitpick I got is just the sagging tentacles, which could have been probably solved if they would just use some wires inside of them.
I kind of get what they were doing, but still, I don't know. Like you said, it could have been fixed. Because, like, look at the one at the end, you know, that you have, Steve. It's touching the ground.
Yeah, like two of them or something. Like the ones on each end are touching the ground. But then again, it also kind of like the vinyl kind of gave it its own character. So, like, my Iris isn't going to look like somebody else's.
Yeah, but now yours is going to be a shelf hog.
That is true. Well, I can put it next to Gamera, and now like the tentacles are going to go around it, which is
could be cool.
So it's like I said, it's a negative, but could be a positive the way you want to look at it. The way the figure's built, there isn't many. The only real seam lines that are super noticeable are on the tentacles. But everything else about this figure is gorgeous and kind of makes me regret not getting the Rick with the light up. But then again, the base figure itself, I think, is good enough alone.
Yeah, and for $200, it's not bad.
Yeah, that was like $250 after shipping.
Yeah.
Got this through Awesome Collector, which is a really great place if you guys haven't checked them out for getting X Pluses. Not a sponsor. But I do, usually if I go for like Ricks, they're usually like my go-to. But also just kind of depends on how much you really like Gamera 3, if this guy's really worth picking up for you.
Not like... I would choose Godzilla over Gamera if one had to go, you know what I mean? But
I mean, that's a hard one because it's like Gamera Trilogy is still the best monster movies out there. But the original Gamera movies and even the Gamera the Brave, like the Godzilla movies are just better.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was getting to. I was like, I really love the design and the concept of this guy. You know what I mean? So it's kind of hard.
Yeah, which is like the testament to the Gamera trilogy. Like, all the monsters are awesome looking in that thing. Like, Gauss is cool. Legion is a badass. This thing's still real, like... Well, it's almost like demonic.
Like, Legion is a better monster, but this guy is a better concept of a monster. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, do you get it, Steve?
Yeah, well... To be fair, I had some people talking to me about this, and they were like, this thing should have been like an Ultraman villain. Like, the way it looks. Like, it's very Ultraman-y, but then again, it's got like that budget. Like high budget look to it. Like, if like Ultraman, like there was a movie Ultraman villain, this guy could have worked for it. But when you're watching Gamera 3, it doesn't really stand out like that to me, though.
Yeah, no.
Because I was just like, it's just a cool villain, but it's not like, it seemed like to me like it was misplaced. Like, it still works even with that Gamera. because of how over the top the Gamera from that movie is as well. So again, recommend this to you guys if you guys are into X Pluses, into Gamera 3. Easily one of the coolest, probably the coolest Iris figure that I own. But what do you guys think? If you guys picked up this figure, what's your favorite Gamera character? Or is the Godzilla's just part you think? Please let us know in the comments. We also have Instagram, Patreon, Pinterest, and Facebook. Guys like to keep up to date with channel and donate. We greatly appreciate it. And always defeat those Kaijus by hitting that like button, subscribe, become a Ranger today. See you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.